Planning a trip to Milford Sound and trying to decide which tour is right for you. The prices of a Milford Sound tour can vary greatly, so in this video today we're going to break down what actually affects the pricing of a tour and which one might be right for you. Hi, I'm Toby, owner of Luxe Tours here in Fiordland. Now look, yes, we are a tour company, but we're not going to spend this video talking about ourselves until right at the end. This is going to be more of an overview of what actually goes into the cost of running a tour. Firstly, it's important to understand what you're actually comparing. Every Milford Sound tour actually takes the same route into Milford. There's one road in and one road out. So no matter who you go with, you'll be seeing the same scenery, the same mountains, most of the same wildlife or waterfalls. All your Milford Sound tours are going to include a cruise in Milford itself. What does change between Milford Sound tours is things like comfort levels, group size, guest amenities that are included on the tour, the exact length or style of Milford Sound cruise, whether it's a large group cruise or a small boat cruise, and obviously one of the big factors where you're departing from, and that's where the difference in price comes in. So as of February the 1st, 2026, most of your large group tours from Te Anau are going to be around the $250 mark, your small group tours around $300, and for Queenstown, large group tours around $300, small group tours around $400. So let's take a look at the main things that affect tour prices. First of all, government and conservation fees, staff and guide wages, fuel and travel distance, vehicle costs and maintenance. Now let's take a look at what makes a tour cheaper. The main one, the size of the group, whether it's a small group or large group. If you think about the size of the tour, if it's a large bus, there's more people to split the running cost out amongst versus a small group tour. Another key one, the basic inclusions of the tour. For tours that cost more, there's often additional expenses that are at play, so we can run through some of those. So number one, extra and comforts. This is things like coffee or tea, morning snack, umbrellas on the tour. These sorts of things make it more comfortable for the guest, but do come at a cost for the operator. Small group sizes. Yes, there's less people in the vehicle, but it does mean that the running cost of the tour is split amongst less people. Premium vehicles. Some tours operate vehicles that have leather or upholstery seats, which changes the comfort, or maybe a wider or reclining seat. These vehicles often cost more and more to maintain as well. This is a big one. Higher staff costs. Some tours will invest in finding the best, knowledgeable, talented guides, and this can make a huge difference to your experience to Milford Sound. Lastly, conservation support. There are tour operators going to Milford Sound that donate a small portion of their ticket to programs that are happening here in Fiordland National Park. So as part of your ticket, you're supporting Fiordland, but there's also a cost to that. So there's two other factors that you should consider for a Milford Sound tour that can increase or decrease the price. The first is seasonal pricing. In winter, all the tours in Milford Sound are a lot quieter, and so we have to be a little bit more competitive to attract guests to our tour. In summer, it's very, very busy, and we often have higher running costs, including staff or fuel. The second thing is also the departure location. Te Anau is a 300-kilometre return trip. Queenstown is 600 kilometres, and so there's more fuel burn, more staff time, so a Queenstown tour will naturally always be more expensive than a Te Anau tour. So hopefully that's given you a bit of an overview of the pricing structure of a Milford Sound tour. Now if you want to stick around, I'll give you a real life example of the tour business that I operate, Luxe Tours. At Luxe Tours, we've designed our Queenstown to Milford Sound tour to be extra spacious, comfortable, and a world-class experience. Because of that, our price reflects those choices. As of February 1st, 2026, a Luxe tour from Queenstown to Milford Sound is $389, and a couple of the other tour operators are slightly below us. But here's the key differences. We have invested heavily in our van for Queenstown to Milford Sound. Not only does the van need to be replaced every couple of years to keep it new and fresh for you, we also read hundreds of reviews about what could be better to improve the driving experience from Queenstown to Milford Sound, which is often quite a big day. In our Queenstown to Milford Sound van, we have removed an entire row of seats. This means that the total number of people we take is 13. This is compared to 16 or 17 people on other tours. It means that you have about 60% more legroom. We've also invested extra money with a wider and reclining seat. Everybody has about 20% more room widthways. While ultimately this costs us more money and feeds back slightly into the ticket price of every guest on our tour, we believe that there is huge value and a much more improved experience for those travelling from Queenstown to Milford with us. We've tried to include thoughtful extras such as an afternoon snack, umbrellas, hand warmers, information guides in the van, and little towels for convenience. The thing that we're most proud of is what we pay our guides. We truly do look after them. We're roughly about 10 to 20% more than other tours. This attracts the best, knowledgeable and talented guides that we can find who actually care about what they're doing. Finally, our conservation efforts. From every tour van, we donate one native tree to planting every single day, and for every guest, we donate $3 of the ticket to the Kea Conservation Trust. The Kea parrot is a beautiful bird and is very likely to be part of your experience to Milford Sound, and we want to be part of protecting it for future generations, including our own children. When my wife Caitlin and I started Luxe Tours, we truly wanted to create a different Milford Sound tour that actually took pride in the area that we operate in, looks after the environment, and is something that our children and the locals around us can be proud of. For more in-depth Milford Sound tour pricing, we're linking to an article below this video. And if you're not thinking about taking a tour and instead self-driving to Milford Sound and then taking a cruise, we'll also share an article here for the cruise pricing at Milford Sound. Thanks guys, and we hope to see you soon on a Milford Sound tour.